All right, y'all, we're gonna check out this boudoir photographer. Gonna see if their local search and their city search, if they got BSS for either of those searches. We only got one search for them today. So we're back here in the GBC universe where we take declining boudoir photographers, bring them to help them become the number one boudoir photographer in their city. Our North Star, as always, is FSIC, full spectrum intent capture. More about that, whatever, pinned video, home video, whatever. And that's because FSIC explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. If we're capturing everyone across the entire intent spectrum, business is probably rising. If we're missing people, not getting enough people, business is probably falling. So on the left side, that's what we talk about here, BSS. We're focusing on the highest intent people. This is people searching for boudoir, photo shoots on social search, Google search, things like that, like directly typing it and searching it. And way at the other end, we got our other brand, Boudoir FB Ad Doctor, talking about BLCS. And that's where right now we are only working with boudoir photographers running more than 10 grand a month in boudoir Facebook ads. All right, now we're into BSS, boudoir search sameness. That's what our whole video is about. We're going to see this is when a boudoir photographer has either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google. 0 slots on Google, on page 1 of Google, dead, because we know approximately 80% of Google searches never go to page 2. So that we can't have that. We're going to be, that's a quick path to our boudoir photography business totally disappearing on us. If we got 1 slot on page 1 of Google, still not good, because everyone else, every other boudoir photographer also has 1 slot, which means anyone searching is going to click through everyone's, contact everyone, get a, get quotes from everyone, and that means probably 9 other competitors going to be on page 1 on Google, because organic slots are, there's 10 of them. And here we teach the GBC minimum of 3. We actually want to get 3 out of 10 slots on page 1 of Google, kind of minimum that we feel that would guarantee we're treading water. We're most likely not disappearing, not declining, or at least treading water, maybe even growing. And 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google is not normal. It's extremely common. Everyone accepts it as normal, but it's not normal. Having that few number of slots on page 1, not normal, is actually the symptom of 2 deeper root causes. There's 2 deeper root causes, which most people know about. The first one, market saturation. Second one, the number 1 killer of boudoir photography businesses, is the false belief of page 1 equality. So first, market saturation. Yeah, that's seems like new boudoir photographers entering the market every single week. Get a new iPhone, they're starting off their Google My Business profile, saying they have for boudoir shoots, throwing their website up, kind of chalking up the page 1 Google search, making it more crowded. Or they get a new camera, they're posting them, the mom group saying they now offer boudoir photo shoots. So that's market saturation. But the number one killer and silent killer boudoir photography businesses I've seen is this false belief of page 1 equality. So that is when we actually believe it's normal to have either 0 or 1 slots on page 1. Every boudoir photographer gets 0 or 1 slots on page 1. That's how it is. And we got more market saturation. Okay, my 1 slot on page 1 is now 0 slots on page 1, 1 slot on page 2. Well, what can you do? Everyone gets 0, 1 slots on page 1. Wrong, incorrect. I went from 0 out of 10 slots on page 1 to 9 out of 10 slots on page 1 in 10 days. I took as many slots as I wanted using the solution we're going to talk about here. And I feel like people have not looked for a solution or a way to solve this because they didn't even know they were implicitly agreeing with the page 1 false belief of page 1 equality. I feel like most people didn't even know that this belief existed. They kind of just, auto accepted it, maybe didn't have the words for it, but it's actually a false belief. Now, a boudoir photographer with BSS, boudoir search sameness, is a disappearing boudoir photographer. Because if we're on page 2 or later of Google, we already know approximately 80% of searchers never seeing us. So yeah, we're definitely disappearing. If we only got one slot on page one, we're also disappearing because there's 9 other slots, probably 9 other competing boudoir photographers. Everyone's going to click through. We're being price shopped against everyone, blah, blah, blah. And so this is kind of the canary in the coal mine to, if this is occurring, eventually the entire boudoir photography business is going to disappear. So we got a solution. BSS is treated with social search saturation, our S-cubed methodology. We invented this, been working on it for about 7 months, finally bringing it to market. And again, this is what I use to go from 0 out of 10 slots on page 1 of Google to 9 out of 10 slots on page 1 of Google in 10 days. And this is the only thing I've actually seen that can successfully fight back against market saturation. But to use it, we first got to crush the false belief of page 1 equality. So if we accept that as false, then we can use the solution to fight back against market saturation. And it's right in the name, social search saturation. So we're going to saturate social search with the highest intent keywords. And as a result, people, they'll basically only find us when they search for the highest intent keywords for a boudoir photographer, a boudoir photo shoot in their city. And as a result of ranking for those on all the social search engines, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, then that flows and ranks us on higher chance page 1 on Google. And let's say we got a million boudoir photographers and we're in Austin, Texas. A million boudoir photographers in Austin, Texas. Everyone's got a website. Everyone's ranking, but we turn S-cubed methodology up to the max. And dude, we're ranking the first 300 slots of, boudoir photo shoot in Austin on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Flow, and that flows. We're ranking the first 300 slots on Google. So that's literally the first 30 pages because 10 organic slots per page. It literally doesn't matter. Those 999,999 other boudoir photographers, if people can basically only ever find us, our business will be growing fine. If people gotta go page 31 on Google search to find another boudoir, another boudoir photographer in our city, we're probably gonna get most of the business, if not all of it, or approximately all of it. So this is the power, kind of half the power of S-cubed methodology. Some more bonus stuff about it at the end. Now, once treated with S-cubed methodology, we have page 1 visibility. So we got more than 2. Well, we got 2 or more. Well, at least we don't have 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google. We prefer to hit the GBC minimum of 3 out of 10 slots. But for every extra slot we get, we're actually kicking a competing boudoir photographer off page 1 and entirely, effectively making them invisible. Because remember, we're focusing on the 80% here, the approximately 80% that do not go to page 2 of Google search. They're page 1 only peeps. So kicking a competitor off, they effectively become invisible to 80% of searchers, the bulk of the market. And page 1 visibility activates boudoir search visibility for us. And a boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility is a visible boudoir photographer. So this is our universe here. A disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is caused by market saturation and page 1, the false belief of page 1 equality. That's fine. We now have a solution, S-cubed methodology. And we achieve page 1 visibility and become a visible boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility. And that's simply starting the momentum. Can continue the momentum as long as one wants. And, potentially turn this into page 1 domination. So this is my most recent foray in this strategy. I'm going to rank for the term BLCS boudoir. And AI overview, that's not me. Then we got the Google Map Pack. But here we're looking at the organic. So organic slot 1, Instagram, me. Or organic slot 2, Instagram, me. Organic slot 3, me. Slot 4, me. Slot 5, me. Slot 6, me. Slot 7, me. Slot 8, me. Slot 10, me. So I got 9 out of 10 slots went from 0 out of 10 slots to 9 out of 10 slots in 10 days. Who's someone coming to if they're searching BLCS Boudoir? That's right. Most likely only me. I got 90% of these slots. And for someone to like catch me, they would have to catch up to me with what I'm doing daily and exceed me what I'm doing daily to even have a chance to start kind of breaking in here. All right, main event here. You can see if this boudoir photography business has BSS for their local and city search, but it looks like they got one search here. So we're combining the local and city. We're also going to see if they hit the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots on page 1 of Google search. All right, so DeLand, Florida. All right, so, all right, we're here. All right, we got one slot. And yeah, one slot. Two slots, okay. That boudoir's in kind of the body text, smaller. But all right, we'll give you two slots here. All right, so we got 2 out of 10 slots, so good. So we do not have BSS, boudoir search sameness. We got 2 out of 10 slots, but we did not hit the recommended GBC. GBC recommended minimum 3 out of 10 slots in our search. So if you're a boudoir photographer, disappearing boudoir photography, you've got boudoir search sameness. You're seeing market saturation coming up. It's going to become more and more saturated. You know that page 1 equality is a false belief. You kind of didn't think about it before, but now you're like, yeah, dude, why is everyone, why is no one trying to take more slots page 1? And you're seeing with the AI, way AI is going, there's going to be taking more people's jobs, pushing more people to become boudoir photographers on top of when they get a new iPhone, they're a new boudoir photographer, or if they get a new camera, they're a new boudoir photographer. And so you're seeing the last time a lot of people lost their jobs was COVID, and then a whole deluge of boudoir photographers came into the market. So you're saying, all right, that's probably going to happen again. And you want to get prepared. And you're seeing that there's also back-end benefits of this S-cubed methodology that we haven't talked about yet, but you're seeing, hey, this S-cubed methodology, you want to use this, you want to keep rolling with it because you know it can fight back against market saturation faster than any other solution. The only other thing would be, building a brand, but that takes years. And you realize, and the other things on the back end of this is, if you got all these kind of bundles of keywords under your business, your brand that you're ranking for, that's a higher chance you show up in the AI search overview when you rank for all these keywords using the S-cubed methodology, and higher chance you rank for AI search as a back-end benefit. ChatGPT search, whatever, Claude search, Perplexity search, Microsoft Copilot search, Google Gemini search, because they look for kind of bundles of keywords around a business, themes, thematic columns. And so you're like, man, I was able to get page 1 on Google and page 1 on all these search, social search, and kind of get the back end benefits of higher probability of AI me being the only one AI overview or being included in AI search. Where the last time I used AI search to search for a boudoir photographer in a city, it gave me 3. Those are ChatGPT. It gave me 3. So a higher chance you become one of the 3 by having all these the highest intent keywords focused, kind of thematically bundled as like pillars underneath your brand name. And you're also noticing that if some other boudoir photographer goes first to start using this in your area, then, well, you can't work with me anymore. So you'd have to figure it all out yourself and then equal them in work to maintain so they don't take over page one, or, most likely need to double them in work to actually make progress at getting more slots on page one that they were taking. So if you decided, okay, it's better just be the first goer and solidify your position, get the highest chance of basically being market saturation proof, busting that false belief of page one inequality, then shoot me a DM when my DM's open. My DMs are closed right now. New patient intake at the hospital is currently closed. But when we do open up for new patient intake, shoot me a DM, we'll see if you qualify, and I'll have some questions for you.